Dancers! Today I'll be sharing with you guys a story of how once upon a time won me Starbucks. This story takes place a couple years ago during season 4A, the Frozen arc of Once Upon a Time. It was my first semester of college. I had just recently been binge watching the first 3 seasons of Once Upon a Time. Season 4 just started. I am like at the height of my Once Upon a Time obsession. So one of the classes that I had was an English class, and I had one of the best professors ever. So every week we would have these little, what is it called, a write-up? A quick write is what it was called. And the 2 best quick writes of that week would get a Starbucks gift card each. Not just like a $5 one drink Starbucks gift card, no, $10 for 2 students, the 2 best quick writes. So that was, of course, great motivation for us to do well. Now these quick writes were about a page long each, and there was like a different prompt each week. And on this particular week, the prompt was to write an obituary for a professor you have, or have had, but it was my first semester, so I haven't had many professors, or write an obituary for yourself. Well, I wrote one for myself about how Once Upon a Time gave me the feels, gave me a feels attack, and I died. I even have it here to read out loud, and I have not looked at this since I wrote it all the way back to 2 years, 3, almost 3 years ago. Oh my gosh. Okay, here it is. Obituary. Taylor Moore. I wrote this in 3rd person because it's an obituary about me. Taylor Moore, author and teacher. Oh, my dreams are on here. Died a few days ago due to a feels attack. She was an energetic and creative woman who was too obsessed with a certain fandom. She wrote as a distraction from this fandom. True, still true. Except for when I'm writing fan fictions for Once Upon a Time. She came up with multiple books a year. Yeah, I can write a book in like a couple months. I can write a book in like a month, but it won't be edited well if I do it that fast. She came out with multiple books a year, which varied in genres. Yeah, I write like all genres of books. She was always coming up with ideas for a new tale, or coming up with theories about this fandom she was obsessed with. Yeah, I always come up with new theories for Once Upon a Time. This fandom wasn't all bad. It inspired ideas for her works, true. The fandom was Once Upon a Time, and her obsession caused a feels attack that killed her. Speaking to you now, so I go in 1st person randomly. Speaking to you now, I can say that it was worth it. Now I go back to 3rd person. Taylor's obsession with the show was more than just loving the show. She loved the actors, followed them on Twitter, had a huge board on Pinterest. I don't even go on Pinterest anymore. And asked them questions on Ask.fm. She knew all their names, where the show was filmed, listened to the commentaries. Oh yeah, the commentaries on the DVDs. And spent her free time coming up with theories about the season, such as how this person was relevant. Oh, how like each new character is like gonna be incorporated into the season. Most of all, she shipped characters. She loved Captain Swan, Outlaw Queen, and Rumble. No love for Snowing, apparently. Whenever the couple or ship was in trouble, she felt the pain. True, yeah. When her favorite ship, at that time that was Captain Swan, became permanent, meaning they were engaged, Taylor died of a feels attack. A happy feels attack. She died with a smile on her face. Now it goes back to 1st person for some reason. I'm probably still smiling now. I got a checked plus, which means it's an A, and the only comment on here is, what a great way to die. I remember when he was like passing them back, like I didn't get one, so I was like, at first I was like, why didn't you pass mine back? And then like my other friends who were oncers, I had oncers in that class. That was great. So like my friends in that class were like, well, probably yours was like one of the best ones, like one of the top 2. And I was like, oh my whatever it is. And mine was the second one that he mentioned. I'm just like waiting, like drum roll. Da, 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 da. Yeah, mine was one of the best 2 in the class. It was one of the shining moments of that semester, especially when I received. I would like to thank Once Upon a Time for this honor. I would not have gotten this gift card if it was not for Once Upon a Time. And yes, since then I have spent this. But I hold on to this as a reminder. Why I was upside down. I keep this as a reminder that I won this because of Once Upon a Time. Once Upon a Time won me Starbucks. So that concludes the story about how Once Upon a Time won me Starbucks. I hope you guys enjoyed this story. It's one of my favorite stories. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I post videos on Sundays and Fridays, and I have a second account, Once or Taylor. And I will see you next time. Goodbye!